Trucks are supposed to be tough, reliable, and built to last, but what if I told you some barely make it to 5,000 miles before their owners rush to sell them? From catastrophic engine failures to transmissions that quit early, these pickups turned into expensive regrets almost overnight. Some were recalled, others had hidden design flaws, and a few are so bad that dealerships hesitate to take them back. In this video, we're counting down 20 trucks that owners ditched after only 5,000 miles. And trust me, some of these might shock you. And here's the kicker. The last truck on this list had a failure so bad that some buyers refused to even drive it off the lot. 2021 Ford F-150 Hybrid. On paper, it seemed like the perfect truck, offering the muscle that truck owners expect with the added benefit of improved gas mileage and lower emissions. However, what was marketed as a game-changing innovation quickly turned into a frustrating ownership experience for many early buyers. Reports began surfacing almost immediately about unpredictable engine shutdowns, rough shifting, and major battery failures that rendered the truck undrivable. Owners who expected seamless hybrid technology integration were instead met with constant warning lights, power delivery inconsistencies, and severe transmission malfunctions that often left them stranded on the road. Perhaps the most concerning issue was the premature transmission failure that some owners experienced well before reaching 10,000 miles. Many reported a jerky, hesitant feel while driving, followed by sudden loss of acceleration and, in extreme cases, complete transmission breakdowns. Additionally, the hybrid system's unpredictability led to engine stalls at stoplights and delayed power delivery, which became a serious safety concern in traffic. Dealerships were overwhelmed with complaints, but many drivers received no concrete solutions, only software updates that failed to permanently resolve the problem. Frustrated by the constant mechanical issues, thousands of early buyers decided to sell their Ford F-150 Hybrid within the first few months to cut their losses before resale values plummeted. But if you thought the hybrid Ford F-150 had issues, wait until you hear about this off-road truck that left owners stranded, literally. 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Buyers expected a tough, go-anywhere vehicle, but many quickly realized that the Jeep Gladiator was not as durable as it appeared. What was supposed to be an off-road beast turned out to be a mechanical nightmare, with major suspension, transmission, and drivetrain issues surfacing almost immediately after purchase. One of the most common complaints from owners was a dangerously unstable ride, even when driving on highways. The soft suspension setup designed for off-road comfort made the Jeep Gladiator wobbly at high speeds, leading to a terrifying phenomenon known as death wobble, a violent shaking of the front end that made the truck difficult to control. Even more frustrating were severe transmission failures, with owners reporting jerky shifts, unresponsive gears, and sudden disengagement of four-wheel drive. Many Gladiators suffered complete transmission breakdowns within the first 5,000 miles, making them completely unreliable for daily use. And speaking of complaints, this next truck had owners begging dealerships to take it back. 2019 Chevrolet Colorado. For thousands of buyers, the 2019 Chevrolet Colorado turned out to be an ownership nightmare, mainly due to its horrifically unreliable transmission. The truck's automatic gearbox was plagued by hard shifts, delayed acceleration, and premature failure, often before reaching the 10,000-mile mark. One of the most frustrating problems owners encountered was a constant shuddering sensation when driving, which many described as feeling like they were driving over rumble strips at random moments. Some reported that the truck hesitated to shift gears, while others experienced sudden downshifts that made highway driving unpredictable and dangerous. To make matters worse, Chevrolet's fixes were ineffective. Some dealerships attempted software updates to recalibrate the transmission, but many owners found that the problems persisted or returned shortly after the update. Faced with constant repairs, unreliable performance, and rapidly declining resale value, a significant number of Chevrolet Colorado owners cut their losses early and sold their trucks within the first few months. And if you thought the Chevrolet Colorado's transmission was bad, wait until you hear about a full-size truck that left its owners in complete shock at the repair bills. 2017 GMC Sierra 1500. At first glance, the GMC Sierra 1500 looked like a solid, dependable truck, boasting a powerful engine, advanced towing features, and a refined interior. However, the reality was much different, as many owners quickly discovered serious mechanical and electrical issues that made daily use frustrating. The most common complaint among early owners was differential failure, a critical issue that caused loud grinding noises, unpredictable rear-wheel performance, and even complete drivetrain breakdowns. Many Sierras also suffered from a variety of electrical malfunctions, including flickering dashboard lights, non-responsive infotainment systems, and faulty power windows. Even worse, some trucks experienced sudden power loss while driving, leading to dangerous highway situations where the vehicle would decelerate without warning. As repair costs mounted and dealership solutions remained ineffective, many buyers quickly lost trust in their Sierra 1500. Instead of holding onto a truck that seemed destined for expensive long-term issues, they traded it in early, often taking a financial hit just to avoid further problems. But this next truck was so unreliable, it ended up in court, literally. 2024 Ford F-150. This model remains infamous for one of the worst engine defects in truck history, a catastrophic spark plug ejection problem that left thousands of drivers stranded. The 5.4-liter Triton V8 engine, which was supposed to be one of Ford's most powerful and durable engines, instead became a nightmare for owners as spark plugs would literally shoot out of the engine while driving. The design flaw in the cylinder head made it nearly impossible to properly secure the spark plugs, leading to frequent blowouts that caused major engine damage. In many cases, fixing this problem required replacing the entire cylinder head, which could cost thousands of dollars in repairs. Some unlucky owners even suffered multiple spark plug ejections in the same truck, making it completely undrivable. With repair bills skyrocketing and no guaranteed fix, many drivers decided to sell their F-150s within months of buying them. The issue was so widespread that it led to multiple lawsuits, further damaging the reputation of this particular model year. And if you think losing a spark plug is bad, imagine losing your entire drivetrain before your first oil change. 2021 Ford F-150 Hybrid. At first, this model seemed like a game changer, an F-150 that could tow heavy loads while delivering better miles per gallon than ever before. The hybrid system was marketed as a major breakthrough, offering seamless electric-to-gas transitions, improved torque, and a smoother ride. Unfortunately, reality did not live up to the hype, and within just a few thousand miles, many owners were rushing to trade in their trucks. The most immediate issue was unpredictable system failures. Owners reported that their trucks would randomly shut down, leaving them stuck at intersections or unable to accelerate when needed. The hybrid battery, which was supposed to be one of the truck's greatest strengths, turned into one of its biggest liabilities. Owners experienced frequent warning lights, software malfunctions, and outright battery failures. Some dealers attempted to fix these problems with software updates, but many owners still found themselves facing ongoing reliability issues. The transmission was another weak point, with many drivers reporting rough shifting, delayed engagement, and complete transmission failure before even reaching 10,000 miles. But if you thought the hybrid F-150 had issues, wait until you hear about this off-road truck that left owners stranded, literally. 2022 Toyota Tundra. This model marked a major shift, replacing its reliable V8 with a twin-turbo V6 and an optional iForce Max hybrid system. But instead of a smooth transition, many early buyers faced serious reliability issues within just a few thousand miles. The most common complaint was turbo failure, leading to power loss, rough idling, and even complete engine shutdowns. The hybrid system also had its share of problems, with reports of erratic battery behavior, warning lights, and sudden system malfunctions that left drivers stranded. The 10-speed automatic transmission wasn't much better, with delayed shifts, hesitation, and unpredictable gear changes. On top of that, Toyota's new infotainment system frequently froze, crashed, and became unresponsive, forcing drivers to rely on their phones instead. While Toyota issued updates, frustrated owners traded in their trucks early rather than gamble on long-term fixes. The once reliable Tundra's rough launch left many questioning whether Toyota's shift to modern tech was worth the hassle. And speaking of disappointments, this next truck had owners begging dealerships to take it back. 2019 Chevrolet Colorado. As a mid-sized truck, the Chevrolet Colorado seemed like a great choice for those who didn't need a full-size pickup but still wanted versatility and performance. It offered a rugged design, available diesel engine options, and an off-road ready ZR2 package, making it a tempting choice for adventure seekers. However, the one major issue that overshadowed all its potential strengths was its horrific transmission performance. Many Chevrolet Colorado owners struggled with severe transmission problems right from the start. The most common complaints included harsh shifting, delayed acceleration, and a strange lurching feeling when coming to a stop. Some owners even experienced sudden power loss, making highway driving nerve-wracking. Several Chevrolet Colorado trucks were sent back to dealerships within just a few thousand miles, as owners attempted multiple repairs to fix the erratic transmission behavior. Unfortunately, many were told that the problem was normal, or that there was no clear fix available. And if you thought the Chevrolet Colorado's transmission was bad, wait until you hear about a full-size truck that left its owners in complete shock at the repair bills. 2017 GMC Sierra 150. The GMC Sierra 150 has always been marketed as a rugged and premium alternative to the Chevrolet Silverado. With sleek styling, advanced technology, and a comfortable ride, it was supposed to be a reliable workhorse that blended toughness with sophistication. But for many owners, the reality of owning the Sierra 150 was far from the luxury experience they expected. One of the biggest problems was drivetrain instability. Many trucks suffered from differential failures, poor traction control, and rear axle problems that made towing or hauling feel risky. Even more frustrating were the electrical system glitches, which left drivers dealing with random warning lights, failing infotainment screens, and unresponsive power accessories. Some owners also complained of a severe power loss issue, where the truck would suddenly go into limp mode without warning. With trips to the dealership piling up and no clear long-term fix, many drivers chose to trade in or sell their GMC Sierra 150 while it still had value. But this next truck was so unreliable, it ended up in court, literally. 2004 Ford F-150. This model has seen many highs and lows over the years, but the 2004 model is remembered for one of the worst design flaws in truck history, the infamous spark plug ejection issue. This full-size pickup was powered by the 5.4-liter Triton V8 engine, which had a devastating defect. The spark plugs would literally blow out of the engine while driving, taking the threads with them. This wasn't just an inconvenience, it was an expensive nightmare. Repairing the issue often required a complete cylinder head replacement, costing thousands of dollars. For many owners, the decision to sell their truck before the inevitable breakdown became an easy one. The problem was so widespread that lawsuits were filed against Ford, and mechanics developed entire businesses around repairing these flawed engines. With the fear of a major mechanical failure looming, many drivers dumped their 2004 Ford F-150 before disaster struck. And if you think losing a spark plug is bad, imagine losing your entire drivetrain before your first oil change. 2018 Ford Ranger. When Ford announced the return of the Ford Ranger, fans of the midsize truck market were excited. However, once the Ford Ranger hit the road, the excitement quickly faded. Owners soon found themselves dealing with a range of frustrating issues, with suspension instability being one of the most common complaints. Despite being marketed as a truck with off-road capabilities, the Ranger's ride quality was often described as bumpy, stiff, and unpredictable, making long drives a nightmare. The weak transmission performance only made matters worse, with drivers reporting delayed shifts, rough gear changes, and outright failures in some cases. Ford's highly touted 10-speed automatic transmission, designed for smoother shifting, instead created hesitation, jerky acceleration, and unresponsive performance under normal driving conditions. Electrical failures added to the frustration, with malfunctioning dashboard displays, glitchy infotainment systems, and even complete electrical shutdowns being common complaints. Some owners even reported faulty start-stop systems, causing their trucks to randomly turn off at stoplights and fail to restart immediately. And if a mid-sized truck struggling is bad, wait until you see what went wrong with this heavy-duty pickup. 2011 Ford F-250 Super Duty. The 2011 model, equipped with the 6.7-liter Power-Stroke diesel engine, was supposed to bring even greater capability, efficiency, and reliability to the heavy-duty truck segment. Instead, it quickly became known as one of the most problematic diesel trucks Ford ever produced. The turbocharger system was one of the biggest failure points, with many owners reporting premature breakdowns, excessive lag, and sudden power loss while driving. Repairs for turbo issues were extremely expensive, often exceeding $5,000, and some owners saw failures within the first 10,000 miles. Fuel injector malfunctions also plagued the engine, causing hard starts, misfires, poor fuel economy, and complete stalling in some cases. Transmission overheating was another major issue, particularly when towing heavy loads. Drivers frequently found themselves dealing with delayed shifts, overheating warnings, and gear slippage, making long-distance hauling incredibly frustrating. The combination of mechanical failures, costly repairs, and reliability concerns led many buyers to sell their Ford F-250s early rather than than invest more money into a truck that seemed doomed to fail. And speaking of engine problems, this next truck has an oil consumption issue so bad, it makes mechanics shake their heads. 2017 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 HD. Designed to handle tough jobs, heavy payloads, and extreme towing conditions, the Silverado 2500 HD has historically been praised for its rugged performance and dependability. When Chevrolet introduced the 2017 model, featuring the 6.6-liter Duramax diesel engine, many buyers expected a powerhouse that could outlast the competition. What they got instead was an oil-consuming nightmare. The Duramax diesel engine was notorious for burning excessive amounts of oil, sometimes requiring drivers to add oil every few thousand miles just to keep the engine running properly. Some owners even reported adding over 1 quart of oil every 1,000 miles, which is far from normal for a truck that is supposed to be built for long-term reliability. As oil consumption increased, so did engine wear, leading to premature breakdowns, excessive carbon buildup, and costly repairs. Mechanics who worked on these trucks frequently warned owners that prolonged oil loss could result in catastrophic engine damage, including piston ring failure, excessive valve wear, and blown head gaskets. And if an oil-burning engine was not bad enough, this next truck struggled with even starting up in cold weather. 2014 Ram 3500. Powered by the 6.7-liter Cummins diesel engine, the 2014 model was meant to be a powerhouse with industry-leading torque and towing capacity. However, owners quickly realized that this truck had one of the worst track records for recalls and reliability issues. From the moment it hit the market, the Ram 3500 was plagued by safety recalls related to electrical failures, braking malfunctions, and defective steering components. Some owners reported complete power steering failures, making the truck nearly impossible to control, while others dealt with brake system failures that significantly increased stopping distances. Adding to the frustration were widespread electrical problems, including dashboard failures, infotainment system crashes, and issues with power accessories like windows and door locks. Many of these defects surfaced within the first few months of ownership, forcing buyers to either repeatedly visit the dealership or sell the truck before things got worse. But wait until you hear about this next truck. It had frame issues so bad it was basically falling apart. 2007 Toyota Tacoma. For years, the Toyota Tacoma was known for being one of the most reliable midsize trucks on the market, often outlasting competitors and maintaining high resale value. Toyota's reputation for durability made the Tacoma a go-to choice for buyers looking for a dependable work truck or off-road capable pickup. Unfortunately, the 2007 model became infamous for one of the worst structural issues in modern truck history. Toyota had to recall thousands of Tacomas due to severe frame rust and structural weakening. The frames on these trucks corroded at an alarming rate, especially in areas with harsh winters and road salt exposure. Some frames became so rusted that critical structural components weakened or completely detached, making the truck unsafe to drive. While Toyota did offer frame replacements for some affected trucks, the process was slow, and many dealerships refused to cover the full cost of repairs. Rather than wait for Toyota to address the issue, thousands of Tacoma owners chose to sell their trucks early before the problem worsened. And if frame issues were not bad enough, this next truck had one of the worst automatic transmissions ever. 2016 Honda Ridgeline. Honda attempted to blend a unibody construction, commonly used in sport utility vehicles, with the functionality of a traditional body-on-frame truck. While this design made for a smoother ride compared to rougher truck-based competitors, it introduced serious flaws that led many owners to trade in their Ridgelines long before reaching even 5,000 miles. One of the biggest complaints owners had was the significant engine vibration at highway speeds. The issue stemmed from Honda's 3.5-liter 6-cylinder engine, which in many cases exhibited excessive roughness under acceleration. Some owners reported that even light throttle input caused noticeable vibrations that shook the entire cabin, making long trips uncomfortable. Even worse, Honda dealerships struggled to find a definitive fix, with many drivers being told that it was simply a characteristic of the truck. Many owners found that even moderate loads caused excessive engine noise, slow acceleration, and significant transmission stress, leading to early trade-ins. For truck buyers looking for serious hauling capability, the Ridgeline simply could not compete. And speaking of trucks that struggled to live up to expectations, the next one was once considered a rugged workhorse but quickly became a high-maintenance nightmare. 2012 Chevrolet Avalanche. Chevrolet marketed it as a do-it-all vehicle that provided both passenger comfort and the ability to haul large loads. loads. Unfortunately, many owners barely made it 5,000 miles before realizing they had made a huge mistake. One of the most notorious issues with this model was excessive oil consumption, a problem that plagued many Chevrolet and General Motors engines during this period. Owners found themselves adding a quart of oil every 1,000 miles or less, far beyond the expected levels for a modern engine. Mechanics often trace the problem to worn piston rings and faulty valve seals, leading to oil burning and premature engine wear. Some drivers even reported low oil warnings within weeks of purchasing the truck, forcing them to refill constantly or risk severe engine damage. To make matters worse, the Chevrolet Avalanche suffered from a failing suspension system that made it dangerous and unpredictable to drive. Many owners experienced premature wear in the rear air suspension, leading to an uneven ride, poor handling, and excessive bouncing on rough roads. Over time, the worn components caused alignment issues and uneven tire wear, forcing many owners to sell before their repair bills spiraled out of control. But if you think that is bad, our next truck took a different approach by focusing on hybrid technology, only to leave its owners stranded in the worst way possible. 2023 Ford Maverick Hybrid. Designed as an affordable, fuel-efficient alternative to traditional full-size pickups, it combined a hybrid powertrain with a practical, city-friendly design. However, despite its initial popularity, many early buyers found themselves trading in their trucks within months due to a major flaw that Ford never fully addressed. One of the most alarming issues with the Ford Maverick Hybrid was frequent battery software malfunctions, which caused the truck to randomly stall while driving. Owners reported that the hybrid system would suddenly shut down, leaving them without power in the middle of the road. Some drivers experienced these failures at highway speeds, creating a serious safety hazard. In many cases, the vehicle's dashboard would display confusing error messages, leaving owners scrambling to restart their trucks in traffic. Ford attempted to address the problem through software updates, but the fixes did not always work, and many dealerships struggled to diagnose the root cause. In some cases, the hybrid battery would refuse to recharge properly, further frustrating drivers who expected a reliable, fuel-saving vehicle. And speaking of mechanical failures that left owners stranded, this next truck suffered from transmission leaks so severe that some never even made it to their first oil change. 2009 Nissan Frontier. With a simple, rugged design and a reputation for durability, many buyers expected a workhorse that would last for years. However, within just a few thousand miles, many new owners discovered a devastating transmission issue that would force them to sell their trucks much sooner than expected. One of the biggest mechanical defects with this model was a notorious transmission fluid leak caused by a faulty radiator design. The problem, known as the strawberry milkshake of death, occurred when coolant and transmission fluid mixed due to a defective radiator assembly, leading to severe internal damage. Many owners reported rough shifting, delayed acceleration, and complete transmission failure before reaching even 10,000 miles. What made matters worse was that Nissan initially refused to issue a full recall, leaving thousands of drivers to foot the bill for expensive repairs. With transmission rebuilds costing thousands of dollars, many owners cut their losses and sold their trucks before suffering even greater financial damage. Even today, low-mileage Nissan Frontiers from this period are difficult to find because most were either junked or traded in early. And if you thought that was frustrating, the next truck on our list had an acceleration problem so bad that owners feared for their safety every time they pressed the gas pedal. 2019 Chevrolet Silverado 1500. The 2019 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 should have been a reliable full-size truck, but instead it became one of the most returned pickups of its model year. Many owners found themselves frustrated with a major flaw that made driving unpredictable and dangerous. One of the biggest complaints about this truck was its erratic throttle response and jerky acceleration. Many drivers reported that the Silverado would lurch forward unexpectedly, especially when starting from a stop. In some cases, the truck would hesitate for several seconds before suddenly accelerating, making it difficult to control in traffic or when towing. The issue stemmed from faulty throttle programming and a sluggish transmission, both of which contributed to inconsistent performance. For many owners, driving the Chevrolet Silverado became a stressful experience, and repeated trips to the dealership provided little to no solutions. Instead of dealing with constant uncertainty on the road, many drivers sold their trucks within the first few months. Even today, low-mileage models from this year are widely available on the used market, as frustrated buyers rush to trade them in. So there you have it, 20 trucks that left their owners regretting their purchase after just a few thousand miles. Did any of these surprise you, or do you have your own truck horror story to share? Drop a comment below and let us know.